So biodiversity. Biodiversity, normally we see many creatures, many species, many animals, many birds, many kind of flies, various trees, plants, all are part of this biodiversity. These different kind of species, different kind of animals, birds, mammals, reptiles, all are living in this same ecosystem, in our planet, on our planet. So we need to give space for them also. We need to maintain space for us also. We should not, this space which is meant for their living should not be crossed. It means we should not cross our limits, and they should not also cross our limit. They'll normally, animals will not cross their limit, but we are crossing the limit. So regarding all this biodiversity, how the biodiversity is considered, and what are the main biodiversity hotspots mainly in India, and national parks, all these things we are discussing in the present class, in the present session. Now, when it comes to the meaning of biodiversity, first of all, biodiversity is nothing but it's a variety of variety and variability of different lives on this earth. On this earth, we know many different kinds of species are there. Millions of species are there. Even few species, few animals, few birds, or few things, few creatures, or few species we can see in the open eyes, but few species, it means few things we can't see in the open eyes, where we need to use microscopes, where small uh, creatures, species are there on this planet. So this all are there, all are living in the environment, all are living in this ecosystem. And this environment, it means environment itself, it's trying to maintain a balance in the ecosystem. All this biodiversity is a part of maintaining a balance in this ecosystem. And at the end of the day, or at the end, maintaining a balance in the ecosystem is very important. It is not like only, on the other day I was going through the article, if any one thing happens, or if any one imbalances, or if any one damage happens to one ecosystem, that affects to another ecosystem. For example, if you kill, or if you kill all or hunt all the animals which are related to, like fourth stage of consumers, like tiger, then lion, all these, fox, all these kind of life or wildlife, what happens to that ecosystem? So there's slowly one level of ecosystem will be vanished, or the number of lives will be reduced. After that, because of that, this rabbit or deer, or all these kind of animals numbers will grow. If that kind of numbers are growing, then that affects to the green ecosystem, grassland ecosystem. Greenery will be reduced because they'll eat more this greenery. And after that, if that affects, what happens? Slowly, when the greenery comes down, when the greenery reduces, the number of that area, green area reduces, so slowly soil erosion starts. So soil erosion starts means, again, that entire area will be not more fertilized, or that area will be waste, where we can't grow anything. So that kind of all are chain reactions. If anything, if any one small damage happens to one ecosystem, or one life, that affects to another different kinds of different components of this ecosystem. And this totally biodiversity is a different variety and variability on this planet, life this on this planet. And then normally biodiversity contains all genetic species, and different levels of ecosystem on the planet. When we move on to types, there are mainly, the biodiversity is classified into two types. One is terrestrial biodiversity and marine biodiversity. So in this image itself, we can see terrestrial biodiversity. Normally this terrestrial biodiversity is located, normally it is observed or located in the near the equator. In that area, it means few kilometers or few miles from the equators to north and to south. So that area is considered as terrestrial biodiversity or terrestrial ecosystem. And in this terrestrial biodiversity and terrestrial ecosystem, this when we compare this, or when we look into the percentage wise of the world's distribution, world's land area distribution, only 10% of this, of the world's total space, only 10% is there in this in this terrestrial biodiversity. But there are more than 90% of world species resides in that world. We can see that more than 90% of world species, world life is there in this terrestrial biodiversity, which is there near the equator. So you can see this. So north to this equator and south to this equator. So there's the equator, the dark line, and here mainly this Amazon rainforest also comes here, and African, few parts of African nations, few African continent, and also India also comes in this category, terrestrial ecosystem. Even Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, and Indian Ocean, and here few parts of Southeast Asia. All these are part of terrestrial biodiversity. And one more thing you can see, only 10% of world's area, world's land area is in this terrestrial biodiversity or terrestrial ecosystem. But majority of world life, majority of world's life resides or habitat in this area, in this terrestrial in this terrestrial biodiversity. Marine biodiversity is also mainly here. Indian Ocean also a part of marine biodiversity. It also comes in a terrestrial ecosystem or terrestrial biodiversity. Mainly the land area is considered in the terrestrial ecosystem or terrestrial biodiversity, but the same area which is in the sea, which is sea area or ocean area, comes in the marine biodiversity. And when we observe the few recent developments, when we see recent developments on this planet, we are extracting more minerals, we are exploiting the resources, and not only resources, we are also exploiting different lives, different species. Normally, there are different kinds of species are there on this planet, but we are humans. We are exploiting all this. We are exploiting all these resources, not only animals, not only different it means trees or greenery. So totally when we consider, we are exploiting all these natural resources. It may be lives, or it may be living things, or it may be non-living things. But totally when it comes to the comparison, for or when we see the recent developments in few years, few decades, or few centuries, we are exploiting these so many things. So the because of this rapid industrial revolution, development, urbanization, we are neglecting the environmental concepts. Now uh, Karnataka government is considering environment protection board is considering June month, the entire June month is only meant for protecting the environment. Normally when we celebrate World Environment Day on June 5th, only on one World Environment Day, what we'll do, we'll plant few saplings, plants, and after that we'll not take care about those things. And only for nowadays, the World Environment Day is only become one kind of photo session day. We'll plant few saplings and we'll take photos and we'll upload it in the social media. Only it is like become only for that, but actually it should not be like that. So where we need to protect all different species on this earth, and more than 99% of all species that are lived on this earth are in the extinct level, or already many species are extinct. It means they are vanished. We have vanished all different kind of species already, which were there in the planet. But now we need to take an action, we need to take a corrective measures for that. And one more important thing, already many different species are identified, but still this scientists tell that even many more different species, millions of species, were not yet identified. It may be animals, it may be reptile, or it may be mammal, reptile, or it may be green plants, trees. Different kind of trees, plants are not yet identified. So that so much of biodiversity we have. So many when it comes to the counts, so much we have. So many things are not yet identified, and many things are identified and already extinct, vanished from on this planet. We can see this. Only 1.2 million have been documented. Only 1.2 million species are documented. It means nearly 12 lakh species are documented, and even more, 84% of it means totally, when it consider totally overall percentage, 86% of not yet described or not yet identified, not yet documented only. There are many things. There are many uh, lives on this planet, but these lives are not yet identified on this planet. That count is more than the identified count. We normally think that if you list up animals, if you list up plants, if you list up trees, if you list reptiles, we'll get more list. Like that, we have which is identified 1.2 million, but not yet identified is 86%. We can see this. What is the mm, ability of this earth to maintain a balance in this ecosystem? And one more thing, I need to put this. Uh, can you tell this name of this? This is not a zebra. It looks like a zebra. Normally, for zebra, all these cross lines, black lines, will be there on the for zebra will be there on the full whole body. But for this animal is not containing all such cross black marks, black lines, and on the entire body. Only starting, it means from since here, since, and that means only this part has this cross lines. That too not dark lines. Okay, light lines we can observe here. And this is the first extinct animal, this is called as quagga. Okay, this can be identified, this can be this were there or existing or living in the African countries. Now due to the hunting and due to the exploitation of this animal, now we can't see this animal. But the DNA samples were taken from this animal, and scientists have are they are able to get or they are able to get a new kind of quagga animal from the crossbreed of zebras. But actually the original quaggas are not there at present. Okay, this genetic, it means because of technological advancement, because of DNA technology, even there are many quaggas, similar kind of quaggas, but not actual quagga is there in the planet. It is already extinct. You think that since how many years we are there, and we're already many times we'll tell that extinct wildlife, extinct animals are there. Even tiger also in the same uh, category, where these tigers are there only in thousand, only in numbers. We can count how many tigers are there on the planet. But we are but already this animal is already extinct. It is not there at present. And when we move on to that, one more animal is there. Is this animal? It looks like a tiger, but it is not like a tiger. It looks like a dog. It is not a dog. It looks like a hyena, but it is not a hyena. It's a this is called as Tasmanian tiger. It is normally located in southern part of Australia. Southern part of Australia, and many normally in Australian continents we were able to, not now, we were able to identify this animal. But the last known live animal of live Tasmanian tiger was captured, was recorded in 1930s. Since 90 years back only, this animal is vanished, this animal was extinct. Now we don't have this animal. Only in zoos or only in museums these details or the few um, things or few information which explains this animal is there at present. But even not even one live animal is there on the planet now at present, Tasmanian tiger, except it looks like a few parts of the body of this animal looks like a tiger, and few parts look like a dog or hyena or fox, but not actually fox or not actually tiger or not actually dog. So this is one of the extinct creature on this earth. So why I'm showing this all these things, because we can just, as you can just assume how we are exploiting the nature, how we are exploiting the resources. Not only Resources means not only comes like non-living things like minerals, land area, iron ore, or all these things, water resource, not these things, even live creatures, live species, life on this planet also resources. We are exploiting all these things. In the previous slide I mentioned that national park. Before I explain national parks, let us know more about the importance of biodiversity. Importance of biodiversity. This biodiversity, what we call biodiversity, different creatures on this planet, has more importance, more uh, values in it. It means not only to one animal or not only to one creature. So it also takes part in energy, recycling, energy cycle, that biochemical cycle, all this. It has a consumptive value, it has a productive value, it has a social value, all these values. So when it comes to the productive value, it produces many biodiversity, many components of this biodiversity take part in producing the agricultural produce, producing the different resources, like plants helps the human to produce agricultural produce. It means food for the animals, not only human, for animals, all animals. And consumers, one consumer, it means one level of consumer depending on another level of consumer. Rabbit depending on the grass, then fox or lion or tiger depending on the other animal, then snake depending on frog, then eagles also depending on the snakes, like that. This productive values where one level in this biodiversity, one level of ecosystem, it means consumer helps the other level to produce their food. Okay, that is also one value, that is a kind of balanced ecosystem. And also social values, consumptive value. Then when we move on to this, few more importance we can identify here. Legal value, then where every creature, every animal has a right to live on this planet, not only humans. Ethical values, the responsibility of one animal to protect another animal. Normally when it, this ethical value only applies to human, because humans, we don't have ethics. When we see other animals, they follow their own ethics. When they're not hungry, they'll not hunt. But humans, we are not like that. We predict for future also. If tomorrow we didn't get, if we tomorrow we didn't get food, what will happen? So for tomorrow also we'll store today itself. So that is all. This ethical values only applies to a human, where we need to man, we need to consider all these things. We should try to maintain a balance in this ecosystem. Ecological value, maintain an ecological balance. This biodiversity also helps to maintain ecological value, balance in the on this planet. And also economic values, so for the development of the nation, for the development of the society, for development of other creatures, and also for human, for we need to live and also let others to live on this planet. Then the next is functions of biodiversity. What are these are the main functions. Maintenance, the maintaining the balance in this ecosystem, balance in this ecosystem. This biodiversity helps to maintain a balance every now and then. It means on this planet we need to maintain a balance. So this biodiversity helps to maintain a balance. Then provisions for biological resources. So this not only maintaining a balance, and also tries to produce more resources on this planet, biological resources, then social benefits. So all together we should lead a life, not only humans. So along with all animals, along with all life on this planet, we should lead a life that is in the balancing. So social benefit, then biological resources, and also maintaining a balance in the ecosystem. Then when it comes to the Indian biodiversity, so biodiversity in India, India has 2.4% of world's land area. So when we consider the world total land area, we have 2.4% of land area, and India is also seventh largest country in the world, seventh largest country, and also highly populated country. Now China is there, but it is not many. It will not take many years to beat China, because the Indian population is growing. So population is more, land area is limited, land area will not increase. It is 2.4 only, 2.4% of world total area, but it can reduce. It can be reduced because of soil erosion, because of increase in the sea level, all these things. Then, when it comes to the biodiversity hotspots in India, totally uh, in Indian area or in this area, there are four biodiversity hotspots are identified. Four biodiversity hotspots are identified. One is Western Ghats, then another one is Eastern Himalayas, then Indo-Burma area, then Sunderland. This is all this. One is East Western Ghats. Even in Bangalore, we are, it means in Karnataka, here we are living near this Western Ghats, and also I can proudly tell that, it means myself, I can proudly tell that I'm also, uh, I basically from this Western Ghats area, where Western Ghats is also has more um, different variety of creatures, different variability, variety of creatures or life on this in this Western Ghat area, in this Western Ghat region. Then Eastern Himalayan parts. It means you can see, you know this how Himalaya is from where to where it is located, and in this Eastern Himalayan region has more biodiversity hotspots. It means different creatures are living in this biodiversity in this area. Then Indo-Burma area, Burma. Earlier it was called the Myanmar country. Indo-Burma. It means in that area, uh, south, northeast states, and near that northeast states, that Myanmar, all these locations are there, right? So that area totally it is called as Indo-Burma area, and this Indo-Burma area also has more biodiversity. It means more creatures are living or main inhabitants in that area. And the last one is located in near Andaman Nicobar Islands, that area. So there are four biodiversity hotspots are identified totally. And one more thing, there are national parks. National parks, there are at present in India, there are 104 national parks. In India, there are 104 national parks. Earlier, few years before earlier, we had only 80 to 90 national parks. Now, the number of national parks are 104, 104, 104 national parks. They are there in the India, and also 556 wildlife sanctuaries. This wildlife sanctuaries, national parks numbers always changing. So when I was referring your details, when I was referring this contents, earlier it was 86 national parks and 530 change wildlife sanctuaries, but now at present we have 550, 566 wildlife sanctuaries. And also, how to get all these details, there is a organization called Institute of Wildlife India. Institute of Wildlife India, that is located in Uttarakhand, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. So that institution, that is a autonomous institution of Government of India. So that institution has all these details. That institution only meant established to protect the wildlife and to consider and to try to maintain a balance in this ecosystem, in this wildlife ecosystem. And you can go through all these details. You will get all this national number of national parks, number of wildlife sanctuaries, all these things if you visit to this Wildlife Institute of India. You get all these details. And those who are preparing for any competitive exams, there may be questions related to wildlife sanctuaries, national parks also. So if you, those who are interested, kindly visit to this websites. And also have mentioned link here. Then when it comes to the Karnataka, there are five national parks in Karnataka. One is Anshi National Park. It is there in the near the Kali River. It is Uttara Kannada district or Shivamogga, in that region it will come. Bandipura National Park, that is near in Mysore, Chamarajanagar, and Kodagu district, in that area. Banerghata National Park, it is there near in Bangalore only. Then Kudremukha National Park, it is located in Chikmagalur district, and Nagarhole National Park is located in Kodagu and Mysore district. So we have five national parks. This kind of questions are also may arise. They may come for your examination, not only a regular graduation or any kind of any graduation examination, this general knowledge topics may also be asked in the many competitive exams. So these are the year of establishment, year of establishing or considering that area as a national park. So when we consider all these details, Bandipura National Park is the oldest national park in Karnataka, and the latest national park in Karnataka are two. One is Kudremukha National Park and Nagarhole National Park.